Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. February. 1 month away from my son's birthday. Yeah, it's February. Well, technically I'm lying to y'all. It's like January 31st, but I know it's going to be February when this gets posted, so. Movie magic. What do you think of when you think of February? Valentine's Day? I think of that. Short month. Is it leap year this year? It might be leap year this year. Is it? Red, the color red. All the things that go with February. You know what I think of? Christmas beers. Why not? We're past Christmas, but when you find breweries you dig randomly dropping Christmas beers in mid to late January, you're going to dive into it. Got a little bit of Ranke. It's the Père, Noël. Yeah, this is a exceptional Xmas beer, all with X's. Unpasteurized and filtered, 11.2% alcohol by volume. This is... It expires. Okay. Looks like it was bottled in July of 2023. It says it expires in 2028, so they're putting 5 years on it. So that puts us just about at 6 months old. What else they have on here? Lime Ventures, imported by Lime Ventures. Is that the people that kind of took on Shelton Brothers' portfolio? I think they might. Brewed and bottled by Brouwerij Ranke, Duttonges, Belgium, product of Belgium. I've never had this beer before. I've had my fair share of Ranke. And like I said, when I do see them, I definitely pick them up because I dig almost everything I've had. So we're just going to dive into it. I need a bottle opener. And guess what? I have a huge, like drawer, like almost like a, what would you call it? Drafting table drawer right here with like 6 different, like it's like, 2.5 feet wide by deep, so I can fit a bunch of crap in it. And I have drawers and drawers full of shit, basically. And the other day, because the joke is I can never find a bottle opener. I emptied every single drawer I owned in here and organized them. Now, how long they say organized, I don't know. But I know where everything is right now. Mise en place. Who would have thunk it? He's the most unorganized person in the world. There are 2 types of people in this world. The people that put it back where it belongs and the people that put it down wherever they want. I'm one of those ladders, so... kind of getting a little bit hot and bothered now, because I don't know what this beer is. Because they just say exceptional Xmas beer. They give you no idea about what it is. And it can go a bunch of different directions. Typically, when I think of an Xmas beer from Belgium, I'm going to lean heavily into Belgian darks. Next up the bat is probably going to be Winter Warmer. Third, might be my favorite, is whatever the hell Stille Nacht is, which is like a really strong Belgian golden ale, Christmas golden ale. And this kind of gets me, it's kind of winter warmer in color, but it also has that little kind of lighted enough to be Stille Nacht-y kind of vibe, so I'm starting to get a little hot and bothered here. They don't tell you why this is Christmas beer on here. There's no kind of explanation, which I actually kind of dig. It's not like, hey, this has got spices in it or anything. It's just like, it's Santa and a hop. We did the label, by the way. So, we're off to a very good start. Big head. Big head! Oh. Head move now. I was going to be like, hey, let's get a nose on it, but I just swirled it, and now it's back to where I can't get my nose in it. Otherwise, I'm going to huff all the beer. Let's do that. Ooh. There is a spiciness to this, but it's not like Christmas spicy. I think it's a yeast phenolic kind of spicy. Actually, I think it's a hop and yeast phenolic combination kind of spicy. Okay. There's a sweetness to it, a little bit like... Oh, okay, this is pretty interesting stuff. Ranke. I know Ranke beers tend to be... They're like the Sierra Nevada of Belgium. They're like, oh, let's put the hops in there. Why don't we just add some more? Kind of like we all are when we cook with garlic. It's like, get 4 cloves of garlic and be like, okay, here are my 40 cloves of garlic. It's kind of like, Sierra Nevada and Ranke tend to be that way when it comes to their hops. So it kind of makes sense here. There's a nice sweetness to it that is like very much kind of like almost, it's not boozy, but I want to say like Grand Marnier liqueur-ish kind of sweetness to it in a beer form. And then on the other side of things, there's that hoppiness, which comes off in a couple different directions. That spiciness is number one, kind of followed by like a little bit of tannicness to it. And then that spiciness, I think you're getting a little bit of something from the yeast. Maybe it be a pepperiness, kind of like, think Saison yeast, but in something a little bit bigger and bolder. Interesting nose. Interesting nose. One last huff. Yeah, we're just diving in. Cheers, y'all. Okay, Ranke. I'm messing around, man. It's bitter. It's bitter because that's what they do. I'm gonna put the dregs in there. That's where they keep the good stuff. It is bitter. It is sweet, but finishes very, very dry. This is an aggressive beer. An aggressive beer from all ends of the spectrum. Wow. I don't hate it by any stretch of imagination. I kind of want it to be like 15 years old, though, to be perfectly honest with you. So let's just break it down in the simplest way we can. We'll go through the core 4. Water, neutral. Malts. It's sweet malty, but it doesn't come off like it's, what is it, 11.2? Was it 11.2? 11.2. It doesn't come off as like barley wine-esque. It comes off sweet and it's almost like wheat winey in the way it comes off sweet, but a little bit less than that. So, yeah, like heavy shilling ale, old ale kind of sweetness as opposed to barley wine. I don't hate on that. The yeast there's definitely a big... It's weird because there's a decent amount of dryness. I think you're getting a decently attenuated beer, but there's also sweetness to it. So there has to be something else at play. I think there's a spicy bit to the yeast here that when combined with a really, I don't want to say aggressively hopped, but copiously, let's use that word, that's a fun word, copiously hopped beer, it just burns off. Maybe because the alcohol's a little bit high too, and it's not a super thick beer. That alcohol helps burn off a little bit too, and helps dry off that palate a little bit. But the way that bittering of the hop works in combination with the way the yeast kind of helps dry everything out. And you're probably getting a little fruitiness from the yeast too. But it really is the star of the show here is the bittering. It's the hops that are pulling everything off here. I want to say there was a fruitiness to this hop that has died off relatively quick, or they used maybe an aged hop on it because it definitely comes off tannic. It definitely comes off tea-like, but not in a fugly golden kind of way. Maybe just an aged, I don't even know. It's almost Zazie or something like that. It kind of comes off to me. It's an interesting beer. Let's put it that way. I think it's hyper interesting. I'm not going to sit here and say, wow, this thing is freaking amazing, and it's rewriting the books about what I think about Belgian Christmas beers, even though that would be a really weird book to rewrite. It's fun. It's tasty. I just want to try it with a decade plus on it, to be perfectly honest with you, because I think this could turn into something really cool, a la what Stilly Nacht does. Stilly Nacht is fantastic from inception to whenever you want to drink it, but I feel with the way the bitterness comes off in the beer, how the sweetness plays in this beer, and just that obviously it's a core 4 bottle conditioned beer, I think this age like a MFer to turn into something really, really cool. Like really cool. Like basically turn into like a pseudo English barley wine with a little dollop of Americanized bitterness in it because of how aggressive Ranke gets with their bittering. I think it's fun. I think it's tasty. It's very drying. It's very drying. It has to be a combination of yeast, hops, and that alcohol burning off, because every sip I take when I come back for another one, it's just more. I need to take another sip. That's how drying it comes off. But there is a sweetness in it, so it isn't like a fully attenuated, crazy, over the top, like bone dry beer from the malt perspective. Why don't I just hide the beer behind the bottle? Yeah, it does. And here's the thing I didn't even touch on. It does drink like Christmas beer. This is like, when I think of Christmas beer, this is what I think. This is basically, take a Belgian Christmas beer and blend it with a winter warmer and add a little bit of Stilly Nacht and then throw some extra hops in it. It's kind of what's going on here. So it's a little Frankenstein's monster of a beer, but in a very fun way. I'm glad I picked it up. A little pricey, $5.99, but you're talking about Durank's single bottle off a shelf in New Jersey. I'm not going to hate on that. At that price point, I'm not necessarily going back and buying a bunch of it. But if I can, maybe I go back, if I had willpower, I'd go back and buy a 1 or 2 bottles of this and let it sit for a decade or so. But I dig it. I think it's fun. Fun beer. That's where this one kind of aligns for me. Fun beer. Who would have thought it? Beer can be fun. So yeah, Durank. Xmas. Pure Noël. Is it one of the better Christmas beers that I was like, yes. Not much more sass, no, but very, very fun. Value and availability, we covered it. It's basically $6 off a shelf, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like Belgian Christmas beers, that covers a large swath of beers, but I think this actually has a little bit of DNA, a lot of those beers, but you are a fan of breweries like the Ranke or, Sierra Nevada that tends to be a little bit extra when it comes to their hop dosing, you'll dig this. So there you go. Review on the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. The Ranke, have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? What's your favorite Ranke beer? Have you had this one? I don't know how old this beer is as far as how long it's been around. Have you had this beer recently? Have you had it with a ton of time on it? That's what I want to know. Plus anything else you want to throw that in there. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed a little Ranke right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, though.